Hello everyone and welcome to RiesKitchen. Today we're going to be making gluten-free short stack pancakes served with strawberries from my own garden. It's a wonderful time of year. It's late February here in Melbourne. The sun is shining, it's just perfect. And I've been out pulling up some harvest, as you can see from my wonderful tomatoes that I've picked this morning. And in the last few days I've been making sauce, which you can see behind me. But that's for another day when we'll make sauce. So today we're going to be using strawberries to top on our pancakes. And now we get to have a look at my garden. Come on through. First up, here are my strawberries. Strawberries are perfect for growing in pots as we have here or in the garden. And these little sweet beauties are loved by birds, possums as much as they are by your friends and family. So here are the strawberries that we picked from the garden. As these beautiful sweet little strawberries are quite small, we will also be using some commercially bought strawberries to make our sauce. However, these will be so sweet they won't need cooking and they'll be a great garnish. 150 grams of gluten-free self-raising flour, 80 grams of white rice flour, 85 grams of caster sugar, 40 grams of buckwheat flour, 2 eggs, 300 mils of milk, 60 grams of butter which will be melting, some additional butter for frying. And then to garnish, we also have some shredded coconut and some chia seeds. Now with gluten-free cooking, you'll notice that with most of the recipes that they're talking in grammage, not in cups. So this 40 grams of buckwheat is about 1/4 cup of flour, of buckwheat flour. But it is also important to note that we weighed it. And we weighed it because of the density of gluten-free flours. You get a much more accurate set of measurements and therefore a much more accurate result. So let's start cooking. Now all the ingredients and the recipe itself will be attached to my blog, see the link below. But let's get started. So we're going to start with sifting our flours. So here is our plain flour, our self-raising flour, and our rice flour, and the buckwheat. Now many people assume buckwheat is not gluten-free because of the word wheat in its title. It's a very badly named flour. Buckwheat's actually in the rhubarb family and is very much not related to wheat itself. So we'll just give those a quick sift. Now just as we get to the end, buckwheat, because it's such a moisture-laden flour, just needs that little bit of assistance at the end to do the final bit of sifting. Here we go. That's pretty close. Buckwheat gives such a lovely nutty taste to the pancakes. And now we'll just stir in our caster sugar. There's no need to sift that. And just mix all of those flours up. Perfect. So now it's time to add the liquid. So we make a small well in the centre of the bowl. And we've got our milk here. And I'm just going to crack in the eggs. Put the lid on. A good shake up. Or you could have beaten the eggs in the bowl and then add them to the milk. This is just as simple. Into that, I'm also going to add our now slightly cooled melted butter, because again, we don't want to cook our eggs. We just want to add all that liquid. Fantastic. bit of a shake. Oh, I made a slight mess there. All right. And now, as we start to pour this in, we're going to whisk that through and incorporate all that liquid into our batter. So now just whisk till smooth. Now, gluten-free batters are just like normal floured batters in that you would need to leave them to stand. And normally you would leave your pancake mix to stand for about half an hour before you actually poured them. With gluten-free, we don't have quite that amount of time. 5 to 10 minutes should thicken this up. And you can see that it's quite a smooth consistency, and that's looking pretty good. So it's time for us now to prepare our strawberries ready for our sauce. Now, these beautiful little strawberries that I've picked from my garden, it's so tempting just to pop them in my mouth, but all I'm going to do to these is just take the tops off, and a couple of these large ones will fan out. I hold this one, just take the top off, and this one I think I will fan out. Just a few little slices, and then when we put that out on the pancake, it's going to look pretty special. Now, to hull a strawberry, you just need to get in and pull the middle. And these I'm going to chop in half to make our sauce. So just getting in and pulling the middle out and chopping in half. And so now to make our strawberry sauce. So in a clean dry pot, I'm popping those strawberries that we've halved and hulled. And I'm going to add just about a tablespoon of water. This is just to get them started so that they don't stick. Turn on the gas, just a gentle heat, doesn't need to be very much, and they will start to cook down and become quite syrupy and delicious. There's no need to add any additional sugar at this time. The strawberries are really sweet enough. So in a non-stick pan on a medium heat, we're just going to melt a little bit of that extra butter that we have just to heat up. Now you'll see that our batter has become much thicker from just sitting there for a few minutes. So it's become much thicker. All right, give it a quick stir. Once this butter is melted, oh, the strawberries are smelling absolutely divine at this point. I hope you're hungry, because I certainly am. Okay, just spread that butter around. Okay, so then just one at a time, nice big ladle of batter into the middle. Well, that's going to make a nice big one. And the trick is to wait until you start to see fine bubbles in the top of the batter. My grandmother Nancy Tyne taught me that, having walked in one day during her I was helping her with afternoon tea for her girlfriends who were playing cards. They played bridge. And I had been making such a mess because I didn't know when to turn them, and I was turning them at all odd times. And Grandma sat me down and decided it was time I learned how to cook. Just give these strawberries a stir. So every time I make pancakes, I think of Nancy. So now it's just to wait. Now we've got the oven on really low, because when we've taken each one out, we pop them in the oven just to keep them warm while we make the remainder of the batter. And this is enough to serve 4 people. So after only a few minutes, you can see how much syrup has come through with those strawberries. And it's your personal choice. They're quite soft and mushy, so I think that is pretty ready now, or you can keep cooking them down. Some people would strain that sauce, but I think it's quite nice exactly how it is. So we'll just turn that gas off. Rich and luscious. So now you can see that the pancake has started to bubble, and it looks a little bit like a crumpet on top. That's telling you that it's just about ready to turn. So I'm no pancake flipper, so just loosen it up around the edges. See that sliding around in all that beautiful butter. And over. Look at that, perfect. And it just rises up a little. Now it's only going to take another minute on this side. So now let's just have a look at the other side. Oh, perfect. Okay, pancake number 1 is done. So we'll just add just a little bit more butter. And that pan's getting really hot, so we might just turn the gas down because we don't want the butter to burn. Let's pop our first pancake in the oven. And now for our second one. Now, just to make the stack look interesting, we're going to have different sizes. So let's see how I go in pouring the next size down. Won't take long for that to be ready. And now it's just about making up all the batter. So now it's time to plate up. So on your serving plate, you just take these out from the oven, and they look pretty good. So we can layer them one by one, but as it works out, the way I've cooked them is pretty much the way I'm going to serve them. So I'm just going to pop those down. That looks pretty good. And grabbing our strawberries now. Look at this beautiful strawberry juice that I'm just going to drizzle around the plate. Just spectacular. Pile a few on. Just make a nice stream there. They smell so good. That's probably enough there. I am going to be expected to share this. I'm going to pop my beautiful fanned one out and a couple of my raw ones from the garden. And then just to top it off, a little bit of shredded coconut. Don't need much. And some black chia seeds. You could use red or white, just to give it that little bit of crunch and to help with the antioxidants in our diet. Fantastic. That is ready to eat. And now for the best bit of all, the eating. Can't wait. My homegrown strawberries are so sweet. This is delicious. Perfect for breakfast, perfect for dessert, perfect any time. Bon appetit. See you next time. Ciao.